Hey guys, good morning and gals. Well, let's do a video on this Chrysler, shall we? Let me tell you real quick why I bought this car. It was not to add to this collection of fine vintage automobiles I have here. I have enough. I have too many as it is. So, with the purchase of this car, I'm going to get rid of 3 of them. The green one's going away. We already know about that. We've done a video on that car. That car's kind of getting parted out and all that kind of thing. So once we get what we want out of it, it's going to go. And then, as sad as it makes me to do it, I'm going to sell off the 63 Oldsmobile and the 68 Fury convertible. Because I just got to the point I'm tired of chasing a rabbit down a hole on those 2 cars. I've been trying to find parts to get either one of them prop back up, and it's just, you know, it's just out of my means right now. Not financial means, but it's just, for instance, I've tried to, for several years now, I've been trying to find a usable 394 engine to go in that green Oldsmobile, and it's just not happening. People have got all kinds of these cars they're parting out, but they never will sell the engine, or they never will sell the engine until they can get a lot of money for it, because as you found out, and I found out, those engines are kind of rare to find running. Most of them need to be rebuilt. Most of them are seized from rust. That was my problem. So it has a good, you know, a good interior and things like that, and other parts of it are good, but the motor situation just kills it. I didn't want to put another kind of motor in it, so the birds are out. And the Plymouth, the Fury, you know, like I said time and time, I said, well, it's kind of a rare car. It'd be worth a lot of money. Well, it'd be worth a lot of money if it was put together, but it's not put together, and I don't have even half the parts necessary to put that car together, so I'm cutting my ties on that one too. So those 2 are going to go away, and I'm just also to the point, I'm just, you know, Kenneth White has teased Howard, my buddy Howard up there in Michigan, Old Car Alley, about whatever, I don't know why, but anyway, Howard's got a good idea. He kind of does one at a time, and I think this day and age, and in my age and all that, I can't do any more than just 1 or 2 cars at a time. So I'm ready to thin down and concentrate more on 1 or 2, and so that's what we do. So let's look at this thing. I'll tell you what it is. This is a 1966 Chrysler 300 non-letter, because in 66 they were all non-letter. 65 was the last year for a 300 letter car. It was a 300L, and so this is the continuation of that series, and or not the continue, whatever you want to say, 300 I guess. But anyway, the sales actually went up this year for 66. You know, it's not really a rare car by any means. There's 300s in the Coupe, and there's 300s in a sedan, so it lost a little bit of its cachet, I guess you could say. But this was a Craigslist find, of course, and I'd already been saved some money up, and I thought, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and invest in a better car, like I just told you. So that's what I went looking for. And I already had another car in mind that I was thinking about buying instead of this one. Before I found this one, it was a 64 Cadillac Coupe Deville, which may or may not ultimately be worth more, but it was in a little bit worse condition. But it was a real nice loaded car though. Anyway, so this car was a barn find. It was set in a barn. The story goes, backed up by some paperwork I found, that it sat in the barn for about 28 years. Original owners, the nephew of the original owner, drug it out and got it ready to sell to me, or whoever, happened to be me, and cleaned it up, and that's what you're looking at. He pressure washed it and blew a little bit of the paint off. It's had a repaint. This is original color. This is a dark blue. It may look different on camera, but it's called code EE1 dark blue, or navy blue, or something like that. But this car is everything that the other 2 are not. It has, everything's here, everything's complete. It's not missing anything. The vinyl top has been replaced. Glass is all here, glass is good. Has minimal rust. It's got one little spot here under the trim that be dealt with. It may have a little bit going right here too. It's not hard to find one of these cars that does not have rust here and there around the top. It's just kind of the way it is. But got these big old huge wraparound tail lights, which I like. One bad part about back here is the somebody has pulled it, I guess, or scraped the bumper on something and bent it up. So the bumper is kind of rough. It needs to be replaced. Been under it, looked at the floors, looked at the frame rails, everything quarters, everything's original, everything, nothing's rusted through. There's no problems there. This was a Florida car. It was ordered new in Florida, in Gainesville. And as you can see, it still has bi-ply tires on it. On today's classic tire, we have the Sears Dynaglass belted radials. They still got a huge amount of tread on them too. I don't know if they're safe, but they got a huge amount of tread on them. Now, here's the story on why this car was cheap and put up for sale. Somebody observed, user Metville, I think it was, said it sits up kind of high. That's because there's no engine in it. The story I got on this is that, excuse me, they pulled it out of the barn 3 years ago and tried to get it running. And when they got it running, I guess a valve guide or a valve stem stuck, and or a valve dropped. He said a valve dropped in it, and it kissed the piston and all that stuff. So they pulled the engine out and pulled it apart, had the short block gone through, had the heads redone, and then never did put it together. That's where it sat. So it sat here all this last few years. He said 3 years. I think more about 10 years because of the way it looks. It sat here with the hood off of it, I guess. So I'm about to show you that. But you know, Craigslist years are different from real years. Real years are 365 days in a real year. And a Craigslist year, I think, it's probably got about 500 or 600 or 700 days in it. Something like that, maybe 1,000. So the span of time when somebody says 3 years on Craigslist, it's probably about 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 in the real world. But so the engine is, like I said, it's a part, but I got all the parts to it. I got to go tomorrow and get a truck and go down there and pick the engine up for it and all that. So, and it's got a trunk full of parts. We're gonna go through that too, so that'll probably be a different video because I'm telling you, it's full of parts. Remember how to do this. Well, excuse me guys, got allergies again bad. There we go. And then you have to reach your hand under here, pop it a little bit. You know, a little thing you pull out straight out. So there's a big empty engine bay here. It is all complete. Got the transmission lines here, transmission's still in it, wiring's still there, horns, air conditioning, cables. So it's not all you know, it's weathered. That's the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get out here and I'm gonna start prepping this engine bay and reworking it while that's good while the engine's out. And still has the fender tag. You always buy one of these with documentation with it, always. Got the fender tag, got the certicard still in it. He said his aunt and uncle took fastidious care of this car. I have the original title from 1966. I have one of the 2 build sheets. That's the original carburetor. It's that car was ordered in late '65. This is original Carter AFB that goes on it, 4131S, date code of L5, which is December of '65. Still got the tag on it. Oh, Howard says every once in a while, Howard says something when he sees something that he likes, he says, "Will you look at that?" So this is a Howard moment. Look at this interior. Will you look at that? So the seats have been recovered. He said she had them covered in leather. I don't know whether I believe that. I have trouble, without looking at the back of it, I have trouble knowing whether it's leather or vinyl, but my goodness, move to the south, you'll do that. But the thing is when I go looking at a car like this, I like to see stuff like this, which is uber expensive to fix back original. I like to see it in good condition, like these seats and all that. Carpet looks original. It smells musty in here. It doesn't smell wet, it just smells musty. Just, you know, closed up, musty. But check out this dash. You got lights over here, you got wipers, 2-speed wipers, got the gauges and all that. You have air conditioning controls. It's called a Golden Tone AM radio. It's got an optional electric clock. It's got a map light. Got an excellent dash pad. This is a 66. It was starting to modernize them, but this is still got some kind of holdovers from the earlier cars. Like it has this knob, random knob under the dashboard there. That's your trip meter reset. Got a vent lever there. You got vent lever here. You got 4 direction floor vents there. You got a big his and her ashtray. A compartment there for coins. There's even money still in it. Look at that. Has these kind of joystick type vent controls here. Got an excellent headliner. Everything's good back there. I always love cars with white interior. That's my favorite interior color. Always. Something's been walking around on that hood out there already. Probably a damn raccoon again. Like they're trying to take my property over up here. Got this day night mirror, and I had to figure out how to do this, but this thing, I kept moving it with my thumb, and I did it wrong right then too. But what you do is that's on night. You push it up. Well, normally you push it up, and it flips it down like that. And on day, flips it up. So the mirror's a little bit loose and you tighten that up, but normally it would do like that. So it's got a flip down armrest. This car does have seat belts, factory seat belts. No shoulder belts, of course. This steering wheel's, I think it started out kind of as sort of clear, but it's not anymore, but it's in good condition though. So let's go around to the other side here. I'm going to show you this. Got some paperwork in it, which I've been through the paperwork. All it is an insurance policy again, and something where they ordered something from Sears, and a picture. And I've identified this house. This is a house. There are 2 different addresses with this car, so I searched them on Google. Man, and this is the second house. This is where they were in later years, I guess. It's got the owner's manual. And it also, I'm glad to see this, it has a nice free tube of garamycin ointment for dermatological dermatologic use only. And this one of these comes from the drugstore, and you have no idea what this is actually for. So I'm going to put that back in there. But I wanted to show you this, the level of detail the cars of this era had. Look at this. This is an authorized dealer certification of required maintenance services. This is a plastic card which is screwed to the glove box, and you're supposed to enter when you had the car serviced, and they didn't do any of that, but it's supposed to have been done, but it wasn't. Some more of these nice big vents. So as nice as this interior of this car is, it makes me feel better about selling the Oldsmobile, because that was the Oldsmobile over there. That was its key to fame was that. I want to show you one other thing here too, and this is especially for you cold light fans, which I'm one of those myself. I know Howard's videos, he's always pointing out his cold light on his Pontiac. That Oldsmobile has one too. It's got one that's green, lights up green, then there's one below it if it ever overheats. And this one, I didn't know Chrysler did this, but they actually have a cold light on this one. If it was hooked up, you could demonstrate it. But that lamp down there is divided into two sections. The green side lights up green when it's cold, and then it goes out when it warms up, and then the right side is the overheat. So it lights up red if the engine overheats. And this dash is kind of reminiscent of the those Astro, I think they called them, I don't know if it's, there's a name they called them, Astrodome or whatever that name for that electroluminescent dash that they had in about the 60 up to about the 63 or so, 64 maybe. But this is not one of them. This is just lights up normally. But okay, so like I said, we'll do the trunk coming up. So you're gonna ask, you and say, well, what are you gonna do about an engine? Well, I have an engine. I have a good running 383 in that convertible over there. It's just doing nothing. So plan is I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna spend the day finishing up on this Valiant, hopefully get it out and get that out of the way so I don't have to be concerned with it now. And then I'm gonna start detailing this engine compartment, and then post haste we will pull the engine out of that Fury and get it in here, and that's it. This thing will be running and driving. One thing I did find out for sure is I'm gonna guess that this master cylinder and possibly the whole brake system has got water in it, and it's not good. But this has been sitting here with the water drainer, because when I rolled back this thing home yesterday, the rollback was up there. I was going to try to get him to put it by that other car there, and so it went down on the ground. It got to the ground right about where my fingertip is, and it rolled back here, and I'm trying to jam the brakes on, and that brake pedal didn't move. That thing is frozen solid. So so it'll have to have brakes going through. But you know, that's what I'm saying. I like doing stuff like that. You know, sometimes you want to fashion yourself as a person that's going to rebuild these rusty wrecks of cars and stuff, and search for parts all over the country. But I'm just not up for that. Maybe down the road, but not now. You know, I just want something that's relatively easy and a lot more fun to deal with, and I think this is a good starting project. So anyway, that's the story of the Chrysler. Welcome it to the family. And I know everybody's going to ask me, how much did I pay for it? What is that? Oh. Everybody's going to ask me how much I paid for it. Don't mind telling you, I paid $3,300. The guy was asking $35 for it. And there's a lot of value left in this car. It's certainly not up there with the later cars in value, but it's going to hold its own and probably appreciate as time goes by. So I think it's a good investment. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching and joining me on these adventures, and there'll be more to come on this. Bye.